removing the brake caliper from your Honda. It's pretty similar on most motorcycles. You're going to have two bolts you need to pull off, and then if it's not open, probably going to have to use a little bit of force to slide it off the rotor. I would assume that would be what we need to do here. So oh, and you also have to undo the banjo bolt, which is a 12 millimeter. And here we have this bolt here that's holding the upper side onto this bracket, which doesn't need to come off if you just want to get this off. The bracket holds the caliper in place. But if you're just pulling off the caliper to change brake pads or something, this bolt, and it looks like this bracket holds the caliper on. So if we pull this bolt and this bolt, we should be good. And then obviously break open the banjo bolt to completely remove this. If you're just doing brake pads, just remove the mounting bolts. Don't undo here because you open up the brake line, let air in the system, and then you have to bleed that. But if you only want to change brake pads, just undo these bolts and pull it off. You can pop in new brake pads, put it back on. You may have to push the calipers back to put in the new brake pads so they fit onto the rotor, but you wouldn't have to bleed the system in that case. So we're going to break these free and see if this is all we need to do. I might need some force here, so I'm going to set you down and pop it open. They actually were very easy to get off. Sometimes you really have to wrestle with these things. But then again, this bike was kept inside for quite a long time, so I shouldn't expect to have a lot of problems with it. But you might need to get a longer extension on your ratchet if that's what you're using. Alright, check that out. Greased up bolt comes out. I don't have anywhere real good to put it. And then that is free. Check that out. I don't even have to force it. Now it looks like if I pull this one out, I was right. And this beautiful little brake pad might just fall. Caliper, brake might just fall right out. Check that out. Hey, sometimes you get lucky. Okay. Brake pads are really nice. You see the pistons there? If you're going to put new pads on here, well, these are pretty good pads. You would have to, what I do is I either use the brake pad that's shot, put on a C-clamp, and put a rag here so you don't scratch up the system or the paint, and then carefully push those pistons back into their hole. So there you go. That is how you remove the brake pad or the brake caliper on your 1200 Goldwing, or most bikes. They're really all pretty much the same. Probably gonna have 2 bolts to remove, and they will not slide off that easily all the time, but hey, I'm happy with that. Now, this banjo bolt. If you open this up and you have fluid in the system, which there might be a little bit, but this is not connected. Where's it at? Here we go, right there. Fluid would come through this line and down into the brake pads and caliper, and that's what would activate your brakes. This is a 12 millimeter. That's not my 12. That's my 12. Don't need a deep one, but that's what I had handy. This is gonna crack. Should have taken it off before I dismounted it. Then I could do this with one hand. Now I'm gonna need two. I'll just show you on the other side because I can't get the other one off real easily. See, I cracked that banjo bolt and there is brake fluid dripping down. A little bit left in the line. See these holes here? Brake fluid flows through the banjo bolt into your caliper, and you're going to have 2 crush washers. See that? One on either side of the line. That is how to disconnect your 12mm bolt. And then this side and the rear comes off the exact same way. Crack this. See how easy that is on this bike? 1 bolt, 12mm. Usually they're the same, 14 and maybe a 14. But this is this bracket, so we have a 12 here. And gotta put my 14mm back on. See if this one slides off as easily as this one. Just have to get that line off yet. 14mm. Got it. Did I say the rear came off exactly like this? Easy peasy. Check that out. Alright, so we got both bolts out. Banjo bolt is off. For the brake line, greased up bolt, because this has to be able to move on that. And, oh, there's a bracket. Man, doesn't get better than that. There you go. This bike was well cared for. Look at that. Now again, these are beautiful pads, but you'd have to push these pistons back in. Point to them for you. If you're putting on new pads and you have shot pads, push these pistons back in to make room for your new pads, so you can get them on your brake. Brake disc. Oh boy, it's early. Alright guys, so that is easy way to get your brake calipers off of your motorcycle. Sorry, it's early and I'm just tired. So anyway, have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one.